Good morning, folks. It's Monday morning. I've just arrived at McDonald's. I'm going to head in and pick up this order I've just taken. It's my first order of the day, and then we'll run through what we're doing for today's video. Swap my divider out. Always helps. Don't want to get wet.
D1, 2, D2?
Yeah.
Oh, there's those.
Nice one. Cheers, mate. Scrub and white coffee, please, mate. Thanks, mate. Score. Shouldn't spill. Nice one. Appreciate that. Thanks, mate. And you, mate. Results. Nice of him to offer me a drink. Yeah, if you didn't know, pretty sure it's all McDonald's that they will give drivers free drinks. Normally you've got to ask, but I appreciate him asking me. So yeah, just got myself a cheeky white coffee. Trying to avoid the lattes, lose some weight. Right, we're heading 1 mile away to drop this off. So today I thought we could go through basically my typical day as a self-employed courier and show you how I kind of structure a typical work day when I come out and want to do a full day of work. It typically involves food delivery and Amazon Flex, specifically the Morrison's blocks, as here in Taunton that is the only option we have for Amazon Flex. We need to go to Exeter for logistics, so I tend not to do that too much and just stick to the Morrison's ones. So yeah, today I started at, it was about 9:20 and I'm going to be working until 6:30, 7, something like that. But I'll take you through what I do on a typical day driving my car to make a living, because as much as these jobs are more designed just for making a bit of extra cash, obviously a lot of people do this job to make a full-time income, so I thought I would share with you how exactly I do that. Right, we're at drop-off number 1. Let's get this guy as McDonald's. No spills, what we like. Hello mate, alright. Thank you. Thanks bud, have a good one. Got that one done. Nice easy drop. So that drop paid £4.03. Not the most amazing start to the day, but it'll do. And just as I was delivering that one, I got an order through from Deliveroo, and we're going to Starbucks. So the way today's going to work, we're going to be doing food delivery until about 1:30, maybe a little bit before if I need to pick myself up some lunch. And that also rests on the fact that I'm presuming I'm going to get the 145 block at Morrison's for Amazon Flex. I've already got the 345 block because it came up a couple of days ago, which is actually quite rare. Normally I pick up both blocks on the day. So yeah, I'm still hoping to get that first block as well, so we can do both. But every now and then you don't get both blocks. You may only get the one. Sometimes you don't even get any. Although that again is very, very rare. I normally at least get 1 block. Normally it's 2. It's reliable enough here to get both most days you want to do them. So we're going to try and get both, but if not, we'll just be doing the 345 one and we'll fill up the gap with more food delivery. So yeah, food delivery until about 1:30, and then at 1:45, presuming we've got the block, we will start our Morrison's blocks, and they will run until 5:45. And then we'll finish the day with just an hour or 2 more food delivery, depending on how busy it is. And that's typically how I run a normal day, a mix of food delivery and Amazon Flex in the afternoon. It does mean I have to kind of sit through that quiet morning period on food delivery, but you're pretty much going to have a quiet period at some point, regardless of what day of the week you work, if you're going to do a full day on food delivery. Whether it's the morning or the afternoon, sometimes even the evenings can be bad, but it's very unlikely you're ever going to be busy all day long if you're going to do a 10-hour day. So you just got to accept that you're going to have your quiet periods and you need to have something to do, whether you scroll social media on your phone or play a game or whatever. Just something to keep you busy whilst you're waiting for your next delivery. It kind of stops you going insane. Yeah, the Starbucks is paying £4 something. I really need to start taking screenshots or remembering what the pay is. But yeah, £4 something, it's like £4.50. It's around that kind of figure. I'm hoping it will be a relatively quick pickup. Normally this Starbucks are okay, but when they're running behind, they're really running behind. You know what I mean? Hey, oh, sorry lad. 2214? Lovely. Thank you very much. Ready as I walked in. Can't ask for more than that. I think that little boy was quite fascinated with what I was doing. Bless him. Now, I just need to make sure these aren't going to spill. Put the drinks there, the food there. Oh man, it should be all right. All we can do is hope. Just going to drive very carefully, very gently. No harsh, jerky movements. And those coffees should be fine. Yeah, I'm hoping today will go relatively well to give you a good general idea of what an average day is like for me. And this car park, man, is just ridiculous. Absolutely hate this car park. Couldn't have possibly designed it with more entrances and exits and junctions. The number of dings I've seen people have in that car park is honestly ridiculous. But yeah, hopefully today goes relatively normally, because it would be good to show you what an average day for me looks like and how seeing as right now I make the majority of my income from this job, probably about 80% of my income comes from delivery work, so thought it would be useful to some of you to see how I go about doing that. Now, the Amazon Flex isn't necessarily needed for this. You could definitely just do food delivery, but I like it for two reasons. Firstly, Amazon Flex tends to average a little bit of a higher hourly rate than food delivery, at least during the day, so it does give me a little boost. Second reason, sometimes it's nice to just have a little bit of variety in your day. Originally, I was only doing food delivery and I didn't have Amazon Flex, and I still made it work. I still earned enough, but I found myself getting really, really bored, especially like in the late morning when it dies down a bit. And then like that kind of school home time of day, like 3 o'clock-ish, just that general time, it's really quiet. And luckily the blocks here for Amazon Flex time quite well with the end of lunchtime. So I get to work Deliveroo kind of through breakfast, through the main period of lunch. Then I go and do 4 hours of Amazon Flex and come back just as the evening rush starts. So it works out pretty well. It's not going to be like that in every area, so it's just fortunate, I think, in Taunton that that's the general pattern of the flex blocks. They're pretty much only in that afternoon period between 1:45 and 5:45, which is generally a pretty slow period on food delivery, so it works out pretty well. But I would definitely say the most boring period of the day for me is this bit. Oh, this road is so in need of a resurfacing. Oh. By the way, you might have noticed I've upgraded my phone, got myself the 15 Pro Max. I was in dire need of an upgrade. My 13 the battery was on its last legs. Had to basically keep it plugged in all of the time. And my God, is it nice to have USB-C, because I've got about 6 USB-C cables and it's nice to have the big screen back. I've missed that. I've got a case on this one as well. I'm not letting it get dented up like my 13 was. I normally like to use my phones without a case, because let's be real, everything feels better without protection. But ultimately, this phone was too expensive and is too big for me to risk it. Got to keep it in good shape. Hope these coffees haven't spilled. We're good. Oh yeah, all right. Do you have the code for that one?
Yeah, 37.
Nice one. Thanks a lot. All good. So I'm going to head back to my usual waiting point now, hopefully get some more orders pretty soon. My target, typically when I do a full day, is about 120 before expenses, because that normally puts me over £100 in profit. Sometimes that takes me 7 hours, sometimes it takes me 12, and I don't always hit it every single day. If I'm not really feeling it, I'll go home a little bit early. I guess that's the joy of being able to finish when you want to. But yeah, we're going to be going for that £120 today. Hopefully we get it. Obviously that includes all of the income from food delivery and from Amazon Flex. If we get both flex blocks, that's £61.50 of that already covered. So we just need that other 60 quid from food delivery. Most of it hopefully should come from before the Amazon Flex blocks, and then in the evening we can make up for any deficit. That's the plan anyway. Hopefully it goes all right today. I'll see you when I get my next order. Quick update, I haven't managed to get another order yet. I've had a couple of orders coming from Deliveroo, but I had to decline them because they were just horrendous. And they were from town where it's impossible to park. And I'm gonna hold out and try and get some supermarket deliveries. I'm parked in Morrison's at the minute. If 15 minutes passes and I can't get anything, then I'll start accepting the town centre McDonald's. Anyway, the reason for this update is I've just managed to pick up the 145 block for Morrison's, which is great. That means we've got a guaranteed £61.50 this afternoon. Now we just need to focus on this morning, the lunchtime period, and then probably, because I started a little bit later today than I normally would, working a little bit of the evening rush as well. So hopefully we can make a bit of money this morning and reduce the amount of time we need to work tonight. Right folks, we have just got a KFC order, and I would normally probably not take these during the day, but it's paying, I think, £5.38, which is too much to say no to, and it's going to a business address. Should be a relatively smooth drop off, and I'm hoping that KFC at this time of day won't be too busy. Nearly got run over by a bike. It's just a burger and fries, should be quick. It's empty. Result. Oh yeah, it's 5743.
No drink.
Thank you very much. Easy peasy, it's what we want. No ticket. So the only thing with a new phone, man, I need to reset all my settings on these apps, turn off the voice and all my navigation. Yeah, this magnetic phone holder is doing me wonders, by the way. I can't use the wireless charging, it just isn't fast enough, and I found that it drains battery even when it's on charge. It's mainly Uber Eats that's the culprit. I don't know what it is about that app, but it uses so much battery compared to the others. We need to spin ourselves round and get this 1.7 mile drive done. Not bad for over £5. I shall confirm that once we've delivered it and add it to our total. Hopefully, if all's gone well with the editing, you should see a running total when I drop off orders and complete Amazon blocks on the screen. I'm slowly but surely, hopefully, getting better at editing these videos. And I've had a few comments about the music being a bit too loud when I do the sort of the driving montages. So my sincere apologies if I have burst your eardrums with bad audio levels. I am trying my best to improve in that regard as well. And hopefully this video will be a little bit better. And on that note about driving montages, let's get to this customer. Yeah, all right. Got the code for that one? Nice one. All right. Thanks a lot. Cheers, bye. Right guys, didn't have to wait too long for our next order. We are going to Boston Tea Party, which is in the town centre, which again, I try and avoid, but when it's paying £5.43 and it's only going to take about 10 minutes to get to the customer, it's tough to say no to. And there are loading bays right outside it, it's just whether they're free. Coming up to them now, I can see a taxi, but if it's pulled right forward, I'll be able to get behind it. This is the problem, man, with town centre pickups in a car. It's not our forte. Yes, there is room behind it. We will nab that before somebody else does. Get in there, Lewis. Still really busy in the town. Perfect. Nice one. Thanks, mate. Okay, the bags were the right size to sort of wedge them in there together. Help if I unlock the car. Right, so we have a 3.5 mile drive to this customer, which is not too bad considering the pay. £5.48, I think. This guy's letting me out. Nice one. I'm not going to go the way Google Maps is suggesting. I'm going to go this other way. There's so many roadworks down that way. It all just builds up and queues down the side of it, and it's not a very pleasant road to drive down at the moment. And this has actually just cut the trip to 3.3. But yeah, this order should just put us up to about 20 quid, maybe just over. So we're doing okay. It's not the worst morning. Trying to keep our travel times as quick as possible. Oh man. Don't you hate it when you're just stuck behind a bus and you can't see anything in front of you? Can't see the lights, can't see if there's a queue ahead. But yeah, so far I'd say this is a fairly typical start to the day. Just getting orders here and there throughout the morning. Lunchtime normally picks up a little bit, so hopefully that's the case today. And then at the end of lunchtime, we switch to our 2 Amazon Flex blocks. And it's very rare that going into those Amazon Flex blocks, I'm on anything less than £40. So I always finish the Amazon Flex blocks by 5:45 and on £100 or more before expenses, and then I just do that little top up with food delivery afterwards. Or I stay out for the whole evening if I fancy it. Generally speaking, I do like to have a little bit of an evening. I don't work late evenings every day when I work. Generally speaking, I prefer to just kind of work longer hours during the day so I can take my evenings off. I will still do evenings on like Friday nights and stuff like that, but in general during the week it's nice to chill out with my girlfriend for a bit. And she works during the day anyway, leaves the house about 8 o'clock, so it just makes sense to me to try and overlap my job with hers as much as possible. And look, I know I could earn the same amount and probably work 1 hour less a day if I just included the evenings for a bit longer, but it's fine. I like this way. Especially breaking it up with the Amazon Flex in the middle of the day just helps to make time go that little bit quicker. Anyway, 7 minutes to go, just under 2.5 miles. Let's get this guy his breakfast. About all right. Nice, wow. Cheers, bud. Have a good one. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. I overestimated my total slightly. That puts us on just under 20 quid. Obviously before expenses. We will do expenses at the end of the day. So I've had a lot of comments on some recent videos I've done asking why I don't include car maintenance and tax in expenses. There's 2 very different answers, so let me address those separately. Car maintenance is absolutely a valid expense of doing this job in a car. However, unlike fuel and insurance, it isn't something that's very easy to calculate at the end of every shift. Typically, doing this job full-time in a car, you're probably going to be going to the garage, you know, a lot compared to somebody who doesn't drive for work, but it's still only going to be a handful of times a year. You're probably looking at getting 2 services done a year if you're doing this full time because of the mileage, and then you need to account for repairs and tires and things like that. But it's a very, very difficult expense to measure in terms of like a per mile cost, which is really what I need in order to be able to add it on at the end of a shift. So for the time being, it's not an expense I'm going to be including, and you just need to bear in mind when I go through the numbers that I will have to pay for car maintenance out of my profit. But in the future, once my car has been in the garage a number of times and I've added up all the miles I've done for work and all the costs of repairs and servicing and tires and those sorts of things, I will work out what it's costing me on average per mile for car maintenance, because that's the metric I need. I need a per mile cost, so at the end of a shift I can look at how many miles I've done and multiply that by my car maintenance figure. But to get a realistic average, it's going to take probably a year or more of doing this and getting repairs done, getting services done, and adding it all up and doing the maths. So I'm aware it's a little bit of a hole in my calculations at the moment, but there isn't anything I can really do for now to keep it realistic. I'm going to need to wait until I can get some more data on that, unfortunately. But rest assured, as soon as I have the figures I need to start including car maintenance in my figures, I will do that, because my goal obviously is to give you the most realistic view possible of doing this job and what it costs. Just accepted that co-op, £3.49, so we'll go and do that. And as for tax, Well, that's a completely different answer. Tax isn't an expense like fuel, insurance, and car maintenance are. The reason that I include fuel and insurance is so that we can take that off of the income we've made from the apps for the purpose of comparing the wage to a normal job where you wouldn't have any expenses. Obviously, in a normal job, you still pay tax on your wage, and it's the same with this. And everyone pays different amounts of tax depending on how much they've earned. And it doesn't really serve a purpose in terms of figuring out the wage for this job, because the tax you pay on, say, £11 an hour could be completely different from the next guy who earns £11 an hour because of his circumstances and his earnings overall. At the start of the tax year, before I've made 11 grand or whatever the tax-free allowance is, I'm paying 0% tax. After that point, I'm paying 20% tax. And if I worked my ass off all year, I might even get to a point where I'm paying 45% tax. But that doesn't change what Deliveroo, Uber Eats and Amazon Flex have paid me. It just changes the amount of tax I have to pay at the end of the year. Right, let's go and get this co-op. All right, 8954. Cheers, bud. Look at that, £1 tip. That'll help. Oh yeah, all right. Let's have a look. I've got the code for that.
Yeah, 65.
Brilliant, thank you. Thanks for the tip as well, I appreciate that. Cheers. Always thank the customer for their tip. And just like that, we have another order in from McDonald's, the same one as this morning. We will go ahead with that one. Right, on our way to McDonald's now. Just over 2 miles away. Not entirely sure of my total at this point. You'll know because it'll be on the screen. It is 11:45, so bearing in mind I need to allow myself a few minutes to get to Morrison's. And probably what I normally do is I tend to work till about 1:30 on food delivery and make sure I'm finished by 1:30, so make sure I've delivered anything I've got, because I'm very, very rarely anything longer than 10 minutes away from Morrison's. But you play it by ear. Obviously, if it's like 1:20 and a really quick co-op order comes in that's just delivering around the corner, then I would do that. But obviously if it's a longer distance order, I would probably just reject it and go offline at that point. Grab a bit of lunch and then head to Morrison's. With it now being 11:45, we're looking at another hour and 45 minutes or so of food delivery. It would be nice if we can get as close to £60 as we can get before we go to Morrison's. I doubt we're going to hit 60. Normally I would need to work from 8 or 8:30 to normally hit that 60 before Morrison's, because then after you get the £61.50 from the 2 Amazon Flex blocks, and that's your 120 done for the day. Take off your expenses, you're looking at about 100 profit. But I think today we might be just a little bit short before we go to Morrison's. So we will jump back on Deliveroo afterwards for as long as we need to get to 120. That's the plan anyway. Just coming up to this McDonald's now, so we shall go and pick this up, and then I'm going to take a little look at what I'm on.
37557, yeah?
Yeah, nice one.
That one's good, buddy.
Perfect. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, that McDonald's pretty on it today. This McDonald's has slowly become the best one in Taunton. It used to be easily the worst, but I don't mind coming here now. Right then, 2.6 miles to this customer, and it's looking like we're delivering it bang on 12 o'clock, or 1 minute to. Oh yeah, all right. The drink there. Do you have the code for that one? 96, thank you very much. Have a good one. Right, so with that delivery done, I want to check my earnings, but there's basically no signal here, so it isn't loading. It took about 30 seconds for the completed delivery to go through. And the thing is now, on Deliveroo, you can't even drive away too far from the address. We go £20.16. So we're on just under 30 quid. You'll see on the screen. I'm trying to work it out in my head as I'm filming. Yeah, on Deliveroo now, you can't drive too far away from the address to, like, say, get signal if you need it, because for some reason they've started geo-fencing the area where you can complete the delivery. I'm not entirely sure why, to be honest. Sometimes it's so annoying if you've not got good signal at an address and you need to drive away a little bit to get your signal back. Then Deliveroo starts moaning that you're too far from the address. So you just got to keep trying whilst you're sort of within the range they give you. They do give you a bit of a range. You can drive a little bit away, but probably like 150 yards, something like that. So yeah, it can be a right pickle sometimes. Oh my God, am I ever going to get through here? Yeah, we're going to head back now into Taunton and try and pick up some more orders. Oh, it's just gone to not busy. Literally watched it as it goes from moderate to not busy. That's not what I want to see. Yeah, I will head back to a decent place to wait and I'll see you at the next order. Okay, another order's come in. This one is from the Little Red Cafe. Seems to be very popular with the folks that work around here. So this one's paying $3.68 and going to a regular customer. He's also a customer who very regularly leaves a tip. So I'm not saying that I'm expecting him to leave a tip every time, but it would be nice. It won't show up straight away on Uber though, so we'll have to see if it comes through later in the day. Perfect. Thanks, buddy. Pretty quiet in there. It's getting towards their closing time, I think. Let's get ourselves to this drop. Should be nice and quick. Not sure about this 9 minutes. I know where this guy is, and I don't think he's that far away. There we go, 7 minutes. Hopefully the orders start coming in nice and quickly for this last little bit of the start of my day. But yeah, it's currently 12:20, so we've been out for about 3 hours now. We're just about to drop this order off that was $3.68, I think. Again, I really need to start remembering how much I'm getting paid for each of these orders before I talk about them. But yeah, I don't think there's any chance we're going to hit 60, but maybe 45. It does depend really how this next hour goes. Hello, all right.
Hello. Thanks a lot.
That's a lot, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Have a good one. And you, bud. Cheers, mate. Top bloke he is. Delivered to him a lot. With that delivery done, we're on £33.30. It's all right. It's been an average morning, to be honest. Even though I've been kept relatively busy, there's been a bit of traffic, there's been a few gaps. Anyway, I'm going to keep working through for the next hour before our Amazon Flex blocks begin. I actually need to charge up my GoPro batteries. I've burned through 2 of them filming already, and I've only got 3. I do need to buy a few more. Mental note. I've got a power pack that charges relatively quickly, so I'll be able to get some juice into my batteries, and hopefully then we can film for the rest of the day. So I'm going to crack on now whilst my GoPro batteries charge, hopefully get another 3 orders done before Amazon Flex begins, and I will see you when we start our Amazon blocks.
1 hour later.
All right guys, we are back in action. I worked for that last hour, made £9.41 across just the 2 orders, one from Morrison's and one from Sainsbury's. My wish came true, and our lovely regular customer left us a £1.27 tip on Uber, which gives us £43.99 as our income before Amazon Flex. So not the best start to the day, not the worst start to the day, but it will definitely go some way to helping us hit our goal. We've now got 2 Amazon Flex blocks for Morrison's. I've just been in to get the bags. This first route, check it out, only 2 drops and only 11 bags. So I'm very happy with that. Should be able to get this one done in no time at all. I don't want to be too quick because I don't want to get assigned any more drops, hence why I'm filming this bit now before I set off, but I think we'll be good. We've just gone past 2 o'clock now. I checked in about 20 minutes ago, went and got the bags. So I will hit the road now, get this first drop done. The second one is a bit further away, but again, I think that's only like a 20-minute drive, if that. And then by the time we get back, there's no chance we're going to get signed any more bags. And if we're lucky, we might have time to do 1 or 2 food deliveries in between our blocks, just to boost that income a little bit more before the end of the Amazon blocks. Right, let's go. Let's get out of here. Yeah, it's always nice when you get an easy Morrison's block, considering that my last few have been like over 25 bags, 4, 5, 6 drops. This first drop is just 1 bag, and then the other 10 are all at that second drop. And we're not even going that far. I am keeping my odometer running for the whole day, so I haven't reset it since this morning. But I've taken a mental note of what my mileage is at the start of the block so that I can track it separately on our Amazon Flex spreadsheet. But yeah, hour-and-a-half block, and this is going to take us maybe half an hour. And like I said, I don't want to be too fast because the quicker you are and the more time you have left when you swipe off that last delivery, the more chance of you getting assigned further drops. And Amazon, I'm telling you now, that is such a dumb system. Why are you punishing people with more deliveries if they're quick and good at their job? It makes no sense to me whatsoever. All you need to do to get around it is just wait a few minutes between your deliveries, or just time it so that you get to your last block with less than half an hour to go. Like, all you're doing is encouraging people just to game the system. I don't get it. Just make it like Amazon logistics. You finish early, you go home early. It's as simple as that. And if you wanted me to do more deliveries, you should have just put it on this route. So yeah, I really don't understand why Amazon do this weird sending you back for more drops thing for Morrison's, and I believe for Fresh as well. If you're in an area that has Amazon Fresh, that works the same way. But I don't like it, and it would be silly of anybody to do more work than they have to for the same money. Like, you can't expect people to just do more deliveries out of the goodness of their heart. But yeah, we're only 2 minutes away from this first drop, and then just a nice easy cruise to the next one, which is over in Wiveliscombe, I believe. So that'll be a nice easy second drop. And yeah, feeling good. This will help make up for a relatively quiet start to the day on the food delivery apps. Let's go and get this first order done. Morrison's delivery.
I'm afraid I can't accept it like that, so and the students have been told.
Yeah, it's got to be usable at
There's
the
no
end.
name on it.
That's fine, not a problem.
Okay,
Thank you.
So will Laura then...
That was weird. She wouldn't accept the parcel. So this is part of a school, and she basically just told me that they can't accept like food deliveries or shopping deliveries. So I've tried to message the guy and see if he can come down to the car, but she said he's probably in lessons. So I'll wait a few minutes, and if not, I'll have to take it back. A weird delivery. Right, it's been a few minutes now and haven't heard from the customer, so I've marked it unable to deliver. The lady at reception was nice about it, and she said he's somewhere down there in accommodation, but I'm not about to go down there and try and find somewhere to leave it where I've got absolutely no idea where I should be leaving it. We're going back to Morrison's anyway for another block, so really isn't a problem returning that one today. And that leads us now onto our last drop. Can you believe it? Only 2 drops. And it's only a 20-minute drive, less than 10 miles away. So yeah, this is gonna be a nice little boost to what's been a fairly average start to the day. All right, I'm gonna stick a podcast on and get ourselves to this final drop in Wiveliscombe. See you on the other side. Yeah, get it all at once. Oh,
Oh yeah, she's a good looker.
oh yeah.
Very busy.
My parents live there. Yeah, I bet it's tough.
Bless her.
Oh God. Right, bless you. I better be off. Thanks a lot. Take care. Oh look, you gotta love our senior citizens. All they want to do is have a chat. And look, if I've got the time, I'm all for it. She was very pleasant. It is just gone 3:15. I'm looking at getting there just after 3 o'clock. So, is it worth me getting a Deliveroo in? I might just take a break, to be honest. Sometimes you just need a little break, and there's nothing wrong with that. And what I'm going to do as well is, as soon as I've dropped that bag back, I'm going to take note of the time, because when it comes to the end of the day, I'm not going to include this break time I'm about to have in my calculations, because I could in theory go and do Deliveroo, but I am going to just take the half an hour to myself, and I want to make sure I'm not factoring that in my pay calculations later on. Anyway, let's get back. I'm going to get this bag in, have a little break, and I will see you again at the start of block number 2. Hello, welcome back. I've finished that first block, returned the bag, and I've picked up my 28 bags for my second route. And surprise, surprise, Amazon just couldn't wait to give me a nasty one, seeing as I've just had a nice easy one. So we've got a full car. We're driving all over the bloody shop to deliver these 5 orders, but I'm not going to moan. I'm just going to get on with it, seeing as my first route was pretty straightforward. You got to take the good with the bad. Oh, what a lovely, nice man. But yeah, we've got a couple of drops sort of in Taunton, and then the other 3 are not. And then at the end of this block, we will head back out on Deliveroo and Uber Eats and make the last of the money we need to make today. At least it's on the ground floor. That's something.
The door is now open.
Thanks very much. Cheers. Bye-bye. On to the next one. Just gonna try and fill the gaps. That's all right. Have a good one. Cheers. Bye. Right then, 2 drops done. 17 minutes to the 3rd drop, and then 2 more after that. I didn't get it on camera, but where I pulled up initially to deliver that one, this woman comes out and she goes, "Get off my driveway!" And I was like, okay, where's the driveway? And she was like, "Right there!" And it was just some sort of paving slabs onto some grass. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll move. She was like, "Shouldn't go on my driveway!" Like, she was proper aggro about it, man. Like, I'm sorry if I drove onto your barely a driveway, but to come out and just screech at me. Like, what is some people's problem? Anyway, we are now heading to Bishop's Lydiard. So far so good on this route. No major problems apart from that very angry neighbour. So let's keep our head down and keep cracking on with this route. All right, that's all there, all right. Cheers. Right then, drop 3 done. I'm currently trying to forget my route to the 4th drop, but I don't have enough signal here and it isn't loading. There we go, Google Maps sorting us out. 11 minutes. I think for a route like this, I can only wish to get back into Taunton for my end time, and that would be a good result. It is 10 to 5. We need to get back to Taunton within 55 minutes to reach that goal, and I think we might do. I'm not entirely sure how far it is from this next drop to the last one, but hopefully it's, you know, 10 minutes, something like that. Nothing too mad, because at this point I just want to get back to Taunton as quickly as I can and then make the last 15-16 quid that I need to make to hit my goal. Right then, nearly at our penultimate drop. Let's get this one done and get on to the last one. Forgot to press record on that drop, but dropped the shopping over the wall there in a safe location as I couldn't find the way in, and there was already an Amazon parcel there as well, so it looks like another delivery driver has also done the same thing. There we go, 6 minutes to the last drop. That's what we like. For Sophie. Thanks very much. Done. Done. And we finished with 29 minutes left on the block. No issue swiping finished. Right, let's add £61.50 to what we made. So we need to make £14.51 to hit our goal. We're only 10 minutes from Taunton, so let's get back and get that done. I'll see you when I've got my first order. Right, our first order of the evening for Subway has come in, and Subway is just up there. This is as close as I can park, unfortunately, but it should be a quick pickup as they're pretty close to closing time. We're looking at 2, maybe 3 orders after this. Depends what they pay, or one really good double. We can dream. All right, 3010. Cheers, bro. Thank you. Quick enough, 60-second wait, I can deal with that. Rush hour right now, barely a car around. Google Maps putting us at 9 minutes away. I know exactly where it's going. I would have thought it would be a bit quicker than that, but maybe there is a bit of traffic up ahead. Yeah, it's now 20 to 6. So we've been out for 8 hours and 20 minutes, just about. Obviously we took about half an hour off between those 2 Amazon blocks to have a little bit of a break, and we're on, what was it, 105 something before expenses. So it's been all right. I reckon we're around £11 an hour profit in the minute, because the day didn't start too good, but I think those Amazon blocks have given us a nice little boost, a much needed one. There is a bit of traffic to deal with, Google was right. Just a little bit of a queue up to these lights. I've overtaken this cyclist about 3 times now. I think I can see what's causing all the traffic. That ain't gonna help at rush hour. Do you have the delivery code?
Yeah, it's 77.
Perfect.
Okay.
Enjoy, thank you very much. Spin this car around and get back to a good waiting spot. We are on 110.20. So we've got £9.80 to go. Delivery has now gone to not busy. Part of me is just tempted to finish now and say, well, we got close enough. And I did start a bit late, but nah, I'm gonna keep going to 120. Back online with Uber now as well. And I'll see you at our next order. Come on, food delivery apps. Get me home, please. All right, folks, we've been blessed. Just when we needed a good double, Uber has given us one for £11. It is a double from 2 different places, so it's a little bit more work, but I couldn't care less. This is now the last job I need to finish to go home with over £120 before expenses. Yes, we'll look at the expenses after. We are going to KFC and one stop. We'll get those 2 drop-offs done, and then it's time to zip through our earnings and see what we made today. I'm very happy that Uber decided to come up with the double just when I needed it to finish the day, because I'll be honest, even though it's not exactly been the longest day, I started at 9:20, it's now 6, so we still haven't even hit 9 hours yet that I've been out. It's hardly a long day by any stretch of the imagination, but it's just one of those days I'm just knackered. I'm just ready to finish and go home. Right, let's get these pickups done. Got my one stop. KFC's in the back. Looks like we're delivering the KFC first, as expected. Right, I wish I'd filmed inside KFC. I didn't bother taking the camera in for those 2. Just get the last pickup of the day, I'm just done. But I should have done, because my God, that KFC was manic. There was about 8 delivery drivers waiting, about 6 or 7 customers waiting, and they had like 2 members of staff. Sort it out. Bloody 6:10 I was in KFC and they've got 1 member of staff on the till and 1 in the kitchen. The customers were complaining, the delivery drivers were sighing. Honestly, it's bloody ridiculous with the prices that they charge for some bloody chicken. They can't even afford to staff their restaurants in a way that people actually get their food in a timely manner. But we are 1 minute away from dropping off this KFC, and then just the one stop to get dropped off. It was like a £6 addition onto the KFC, because it started as a single, just the KFC, for like £5 something. And then the one stop came up for an extra £6, so I didn't even bother looking at the address, I just hit accept. But it's probably going to be going a few miles for that amount of money, so honestly I don't care though. Last order of the day, it's all good. Right, I'm going to take this KFC in. I bought it right. And they said they run out of Pepsi Max, so they've given Diet Pepsi instead. All right, cheers, bud. On to the last drop. Actually, putting that in the boot. Hey, what? Less than 2 miles. So I don't know why this one-stop order is paying an extra £6. I'm more than happy with that. It's not even like adding on the trip to one stop was much, because I basically go past it on the way to this KFC customer anyway. So yeah, I don't know why it's paying so much extra, but I'll take it. So we are 5 minutes away from dropping this one stop off and finishing for the day. I'm a happy man. And we will then of course go through our earnings and expenses for the day and see what I made. Yeah, I do feel like today's been a pretty good example of what an average day is like for me when I do a full day that doesn't include like a late evening shift. I'm very happy it's worked out that way, because I think it shows you a real kind of middle of the road day at work for me. Nothing too crazy good and nothing too crazy bad. Just a nice average day, which is exactly what I wanted to show you. Any luck? Oh, get in. Yeah, nice one. Feels good, man. Home time feels good. Thank God we are done. Sorry about the lighting. I cannot believe how dark it's getting now. It's only just gone 7. Took me a while to crunch the numbers. I've crunched everything separately, the 2 Amazon Flex blocks and the food delivery. I'm just going to focus on the profit we made, and I'll throw the breakdown up on the screen because I'm not going to go through it all separately. But the real stinker of the day, and something that was way worse than I expected, was the food delivery. It didn't feel like it was that bad. Granted, it wasn't that busy, but my God, we only made £59.52, and after expenses, that's £48.45. And we were doing food delivery for 5.7 hours in total today. So we made £8.50 an hour on food delivery. That is way lower than I thought it was going to be. It did not feel that bad. Don't get me wrong, it didn't feel great, but I was very shocked when I crunched the numbers and saw that. The real saviour of the day were the Amazon Flex blocks, both of which I got done early and back to Taunton before the block was over. The first block only took me 1.37 hours to get back to Taunton. It was a 1.5 hour block. And after the £4.13 expenses, we made £22.47 on that block for a £16.40 hourly rate. And on the second block, which when I first saw the route, I thought was going to be an awful one, turns out it only took me 1.68 hours, which paid £35 minus the expenses of £4.29. Both blocks took me 22 miles. Exactly. It's just the second block had a slightly higher insurance cost because it took me slightly longer. £30.71 profit on that block. £18.27 an hour. So how did I earn an hourly rate higher than the base pay of £17.50 an hour? Well, it's because the block only took me 1.68 hours to get back to Taunton, so it took me less time than it should have done, therefore the hourly rate got bumped because our expenses were also pretty low for that block. And that is what saved us, because all in all today, we did 8.75 hours of work. We made £121.02 in income. Oh, I must have been too tired to do maths properly in the car. I missed off 30 pence from my income when I added it all up. So my apologies that the profit and hourly rate here are ever so slightly lower than they should have been. I won't let it happen again. Profit was £101.52, so we made, all in all today, £11.60 an hour. If only I could have done those Amazon Flex blocks all day. That would have been the dream, but alas, that is not what this job is, unfortunately. Got to pad it out with food delivery, which today, I cannot believe it paid that little. It really didn't feel like it was that bad, but just goes to show, you got to keep on the ball in this job because you might think you're doing okay. When you break the numbers down, you've made barely anything. But all in all, I think that was a fairly good example of my typical day, albeit the food delivery was a little bit on the low side and the Amazon blocks were a little bit on the high side. But honestly, that's what this job is like. There's so much variance in all the different work I do. Food delivery can sometimes go up to £15, £16 an hour. Sometimes the Amazon blocks can work out £10 an hour. It really just depends on how your day goes, what routes you get, and how busy you are on the food side of things. Anyway, thank you for joining me for another adventure in this crazy world of gig work. For my next video, we are going to Exeter and we're going to do a couple of Amazon logistics blocks back to back. And we'll see, is logistics the way forward instead of Morrison's? So stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you haven't already. And guys, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.